Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Wendy with Creation Depot, and I am a web designer. I've been one for 23 years, and today I'm going to talk to you about free ways to promote your website. You like my little homeschool setup here? Thank you, 2020. Okay guys, so the first thing up today is social media. So that one you probably already kind of knew about, you already were thinking about it, but let's go over it. So the first one is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course LinkedIn. So depending on where you are in your industry, one of these is going to jump out at you. You probably already have a couple things set up. That's the first place you should be putting stuff out because it's free. You've already got your friends and family connected to you on these things, and you should be promoting to them anyway. And I know it feels awkward. It definitely felt awkward for me when I started my YouTube channel to be like, hey guys, go look at my views. But it's the same kind of thing with a website. When you first put out new content, like let's say you write a blog, and you put it out there into the world, or you have a freebie and you put it out there into the world, you already have like a networking circle. You already have your contacts. And this is kind of like what an MLM would tell you. It's like, hey, start with your friends and family. They're doing it because they know your friends and family are probably going to give them a couple bucks. But you're doing it because if you have that reach already and you send it out to people, it puts it in their mind that you do that thing. Somewhere down the line, hey, somebody else might bother them and say, hey, do you know somebody that does this thing or this service or has this product? And they'll be like, oh yeah, this person. But if you don't kind of tell the world that you have it, that connection never happened. So the other reason that you want to do it is that if you get, like, I call them sympathy clicks, people that click on it because they're just trying to support you, which it's not really a sympathy click. You know, they're doing it to be nice for you. They're trying to help you, which is important. Thank you guys for doing that for me. What happens though is that it builds your authority with Google. If you publish something and all of a sudden you have like 30 clicks on it, Google says, well, you're important. Let me push more traffic to you and see if more people like your stuff. And that initial little bump will actually help you get more future bumps because Google just keeps sending you traffic. People are gonna like your stuff because you've put the time and effort into it, right? And you will end up getting more traffic because of that initial bump. So it's kind of like a feeding cycle. And it's the same thing with any of your social medias, right? As long as you send stuff out, and depending on the different platforms have different rules, different ways of doing it, and rules is a loose term just to mean suggested ways of doing it. Social media, a lot of them are kind of like instantly gone, like they're in your news feed for like 15 seconds or something for the people that look at them. Don't be shy. Send this stuff out, get it out there into the world, and do it on repeat. One more thing I want to mention about that, ask them when you send this out to your friends and family, if you're trying to do that initial little push, send it out to them and say, hey, when you go view this video, can you watch it all the way through? Or when you go to this website, can you hang on there for like a minute or two before you click away? You know, even if you just open it up in like a browser and just stick it on the side or something. The reason for doing that, and it is cheating the system. I'll be honest, it's cheating the system. But what you're doing is you're telling YouTube, if you're sending them to a YouTube video or you're sending them to a Google page or something, Google bases everything on this thing called authority. And if your authority is high, because people spend a lot of time on a page, it must mean they think it's really interesting. They're spending a lot of time on this page. So, and they're doing a lot of scrolling and they're looking around and that kind of thing. The longer somebody's on your page, the more authority Google gives you about that topic, about the keywords that are on that page. So give them a reason to stay, whether it's you ask them to or there's stuff on the page that prolongs the time that they're on the page. All right, number two, along the same lines, and I already kind of mentioned it, so I kind of shot myself in the foot with number two, but if you're doing a blog post, it's the same thing. Send it out to the world. Don't be shy about it, and make sure your blog post is written under your domain. It is from your website. Again, we're sending people back to your website because we want to build that authority. If you have a link on your domain, on your website that links over to Blogger or some other third-party blogging system, you're building the authority for them. You're not building the authority for you. So make sure that you have a WordPress site or you have some kind of blogging system on your website under your domain, not a subdomain that is different, under your domain, like creationdepot.com/blog. It makes a difference. If you're sending people away in any way, shape, or form, Google knows, and you're not going to get the authority. You're giving somebody else the authority. It's like writing a guest post. All right, tip number three. This is not included in the initial one because it is very different, although some people still call it a social media platform, is your Pinterest. So I am new to Pinterest world. I do not claim to know a lot about Pinterest, but I do know that it is kind of starting to make a difference. And all I'm doing is taking those blog posts that I write and I'm just plugging them on Pinterest. And all I'm doing is creating graphics and putting my link in there in my description. Those title and descriptions have my keywords that I use in the blog post, and post it, and then post it, and post it. And those posts, those pins that you're making on Pinterest, they last so much longer than they do on social media. So once you make it, it's there. But Pinterest likes the fresh content, so keep it coming. It is a free place to get more traffic. All right, this one's kind of my favorite because it's kind of like the secret gem, is putting it any like promotional freebie, or because the whole idea is to get people to come back to your website. So you'll have things like freebies, blog posts, you'll have service pages, product pages, all those things, right? So what you want to do is get people to come back to your site, and then your site authority grows as a whole for the keywords that they clicked on to get to your site. That's how it all works, right? So this one is a little bit different, because this one we are going to be putting links in your email, right? So everybody's got an email signature. They, you know, it could just say, you know, your basic information like your name and like maybe your job title. But underneath of that, you should put something that says something like, you know, my top 3 free resources, and then list them, right? Or come subscribe to me on my YouTube channel because this reason. Subscribe to my blog post or my podcast. But have those things in your email signature, because free traffic. I mean, it's not going to be a whole lot of people, because the only people you send emails to are going to get this, but it's still traffic. And when you're starting from 0, 1 is 100% improvement. We're going to raise you up a little bit. Number 5. Number 5 is put all of your ClickFunnels, all of your lead pages, all that stuff. Those companies are great. I'm not going to say they're not. And if you're just getting started and you don't know what you're doing, they're not bad. They're really not. I use ConvertKit. I like ConvertKit a lot, so much that I became an affiliate for them, because I've used them now for about 2 years and they're just so much better. What you need to do is not have those things. So this is going to be my suggestion, is that if you are willing to put through the struggle of not having stuff on another site, if you feel technical enough to be able to create the same lead magnets over on your website, under your domain, on your website or your blog, put those little pages on there instead of using this third-party service. Even if you use them for like the payment processing part of it and everything, using your own pages builds your authority, again, because you're putting the content under your umbrella. You're not using somebody else's umbrella, you're using yours. You got to have people on your site building your foundation, because I mean, even if they tank, your stuff's still going to be on your site, so you don't lose your work. So that's another reason. But we're talking about authority right now, so that is the main reason. Put this stuff on your site. I know it's going to be a pain in the butt. Some WordPress themes make it easier than others. Some coding is easier than others. It could be worth it just to pay somebody to do it for you if you really are stuck. The other reason that that's really important is because a lot of times businesses will put through Facebook ads, or they'll do Google ads, or some kind of advertisement that goes to the lead pages or goes to the ClickFunnel. And if you can send them back to a landing page on your site, you're getting that free traffic bump, which isn't free because you're paying for the ads, but the traffic bump part, you're getting that because you're basically boosting your site, because you're sending people to your site instead of sending them to this third-party site. So you're going to see those traffic numbers jump. I mean, it's an artificial jump because you're paying for it, but if you're going to pay for advertising for your products or those lead pages anyway, or I keep saying lead pages, those landing pages, if you're going to keep sending people to a landing page, send that traffic to your site. Might not get the traffic boost while you're paying to have them go look at the product. I kind of like this camera angle better because I can see my notes. All right, so my number 6 is your email list. So your email list is super important. And if you haven't started one, I'm not going to go into the 5 billion reasons why you should have an email list. Just start one. Even if you just put a little contact form, you don't have a third-party service, just put something on your site and just start writing the emails down when they come in. Start it. Just start it, because you got to start somewhere. Anyway, let's say you have 1,000 people on your email list, and as part of your weekly staying in touch with everybody thing, you sent out emails, and in those emails you say, hey, by the way, this is a blog post I just wrote. Hey, by the way, this is a new product I'm promoting. Hey, by the way, but now, since we've already talked about this, all those things are on your website now, right? So if they're on your website, guess who's getting the traffic for them? And these are people that you've already warmed up because they're on your email list, and now you're bringing them back for a little bit more of that trust building exercises, right? So it's a good thing on all fronts, and it's even better because you're sending them back to your site. They're repeat users who keep coming back to your site. Here's the kicker. Google knows that they're repeats. They know they've been to your website already, and they know that they came back for more. That's like a double bump of authority, because now people that already knew you and already knew that you were good are coming back for more. So that's a good thing. All right, so this next couple, they do take more work. They are more involved, but like most stuff that takes longer and is more involved, there's a bigger payout at the end. First one is number 7 is going to be writing a guest post that links back to your site. So this one's important. Now, I know we just got talking about like, hey, don't send stuff out to other sites. Don't do that kind of thing. Guest posts are a little bit different because unlike lead pages, unlike ConvertKit, unlike the other one I can't remember, ClickFunnels. Unlike those other sites that you're sending people to instead of to your website, when you write a guest post, you are writing something that links back to your website with keywords. So let's say you're trying to rank for a certain set of keywords in your industry. All you need to do is, when you're writing your blog post for this other person, for their site, for their audience, which is awesome because it gets you in front of their audience, people that are not in your audience, so you get more people. So guest posts are worth it. They take more effort because you've got to collaborate, and then you got to write the blog post, and then you got to make sure that they're okay with it being on their site, and then you got to make sure it's set up, and then do all that stuff. But it's worth it because when they link back to your site, and that link is linked, the words that are linked are the keyword phrase that you're trying to rank for, that you have authority for. Those are the keywords that you're going after for your site. It gives you an extra boost because now somebody's linking to your site, giving you more authority because now they're linking to your site with those linked keyword phrases. So because that keyword phrase is linked and not just like your name, not Wendy Literal is not linked, but web designer in Fredericksburg, Virginia is linked. Well, now Google thinks, hey, somebody's linking to this person with these set of keywords. So now I'm going to give somebody searches for web designer in Fredericksburg, Virginia. My name's going to come up towards the top because now I've been linked. See, Google gave me a bump because those words were linked. So that's the relationship there. But that's why guest posts are important, because even though they take more work, again, it's a blog post. Once it's written, it's done. That's important. All right, tip number 8. We're almost done, guys. All right, tip number 8 is when you make a YouTube video, and you should be making YouTube videos, even if you feel like you suck in front of the camera, don't be on the camera. Do screen share, do something else. You don't have to be on the camera. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. But if you do YouTube and you are putting your descriptions in, right, like you should be doing, when you do your descriptions, link back to your website from those descriptions. Again, don't link to a third-party website, link back to your site, and link back with keywords too. Now in YouTube descriptions, you can't like select some words and then make the link those words. You have to write the words and then put the link next to it. You can't do HTML or anything fancy inside those descriptions, and that's fine. You know, it's literally a free service that is letting you post something and having authority in that thing. So go ahead and put your links back to your website on there. Don't link to a third party. Don't link to something that's like a referral link either. So you don't want something to link somewhere else and then redirect back to your site, because that doesn't look so good for Google. But if it links directly to your site, like your blog post, do not link to your homepage. That does nothing for you. You want to link people to something specific in your site so that they take action as your customers. If you're just linking them to their homepage, hopefully your homepage tells them where to go, what to do next. But if you send them from a video that they're learning about something to a page where they're still learning about that same thing, you're going to have better luck. All right, number 9, again, more work, but again, worth it, is podcasts. If you want to do a podcast, they are really great, and they're awesome also because even though there's something like, I think it was like 1.2 million podcasts now, that is nothing compared to like the 4 trillion websites that are out there. So your competition market is a lot smaller. That is why podcasts are something that I try to push people to do, because you can record 4 of them in an hour and there you go. But if you push people to someplace in your website, again, or sorry, if you're pushing your listeners somewhere in your podcast somewhere, send them to, again, a specific page, and you can set up things where you can have like I have creationdepot.com/SEO instead of / search engine optimized blog post template that no one's going to remember when they're in their car or at the gym and driving away, but they might remember creationdepot.com /SEO. Now, here's the thing about podcasts though. They're audio files. They are not widely indexed yet. They will get there. I'm sure they will. Our videos and our audio files in this video are being transcribed by Google. Google owns YouTube. So if I intertwine the two, I'm sorry. But what ends up happening is that the transcripts from a YouTube video get all the words that you're saying that I'm saying right now are getting indexed. That doesn't happen with podcasts yet. So what's happening is that in order for somebody to go find out about your podcast, you generally have to help it along with writing a blog post, embed your podcast file onto your blog post page, and then write show notes with all the keywords and the touch points from your podcast in there. And then if you need to send them from somewhere in your podcast, your show notes page, you can link out from there to whatever product or service you're talking about. But write that blog post that talks about your podcast so you can help get people to the podcast. And if people are listening to the podcast on your page, they'll hear a link and then they can go back to the show notes and look there. Or if they just hear it, they can just type it in and go. But podcasts, they take more work, but it's a much smaller market, so you get more ears. It's pretty easy to write a quick blog post with your show notes in it. All right, we're on number 10. I was totally like, woo. All right, so number 10, the last one, membership groups and Facebook groups. If you are like me, you are probably part of like a billion Facebook groups, just stuff that you've joined over the years, and it's just mounted. You have so many different things you're a part of. But how many of those are part of your industry? For me, it's a lot because I've actively pursued them. But also, if you are part of a membership group, like you've paid to be part of a business group, or paid to be part of an industry group, or paid to be part of some other group, or maybe it's just your local like chamber of commerce or kind of thing, and they have their own little membership site. All those things count in this category. And what you need to do is go participate in these categories. I can't tell you, like, I don't regularly advertise this one business group that I've paid to be part of. I don't regularly advertise that I am a web designer, that I, hey, I'm over here for hire. One, that will usually get you kicked out of the membership group because they don't want people being salesy. They don't want people promoting other people's products in their groups and all that kind of stuff. So you generally don't want to push sales. But what you can do is answer questions. Generally what you want to do is go into these groups and just participate as you can on a daily basis. I do mine on Mondays. I have a giant list in my Google Doc of all the different ones that I try to participate in. They're basic things like blogging for noobs, small business groups, that kind of thing. And I just go in and I just poke around and see if there's anything I can answer. But most of these sites have search features. So if you go in and you do searches for like, my WordPress site, or I need help with my WordPress site. Let's just stick with that one because that one's easy. And you type that in, you're going to get all the questions of people saying something from their perspective, like I's, me's, my's, not yours or whatever. You want to use those terminologies, like if it's you that's having the problem, and do the search for those. And when they come up, even if they're older, just go ahead and answer them. And what happens is you start establishing a rapport for being a know-it-all about your topic in that group. And you'll find yourself getting tagged to answer things. And you're not the admin of these groups, but people will still tag you because they know that you know the answer, or you know the best practice, or you know what to do about something, or you know how to handle a certain situation. And by having those things available, people will start to come to you after, we're talking months here, so like it's an effort. But once all that's done, you will start getting on that routine. And then as you answer the questions, it kind of it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because it just keeps adding more and more people will know that you know the thing. And every once in a while, you'll get a DM that says, hey, tell me more about that product, or tell me more about that service, or can I hire you to fix my website? Which, by the way, if you need website help, send me a message. Okay, thanks. All right, so we can wrap up here. Basically, you need to remember that when you're first starting out and you're looking for free ways to promote your website, they are free ways to promote your website. Some of them are more successful than others, but as a collaborative whole, all these things put together add up to a few clicks here, a few clicks there, a few clicks here, and they end up being a whole bunch of clicks. And you do this on a regular basis. Like I said, I go through every Monday and I do my routine. Like I know which ones I'm going after. I know who I want to talk to. I know that kind of thing. I know that's when I put my pins up into Tailwind. It's when I do all my things. And that works for me. And I only really do it on Mondays, and the rest of the week I'm not like focused on it, you know, unless I do like an Instagram stories or something. But all these little things add up. And just like YouTube, if you're trying to be a YouTuber, it's the same thing. You just build it up inch by horrible, slow, painstaking inch over time. And all of a sudden you just go on that exponential curve up, and it gets so much easier because all of a sudden you're getting subscribers without trying. All of a sudden you're getting website traffic without trying. People are automatically linking to you without you asking. People are calling you out and like saying, hey, can you help with this thing over here? You're being invited to things. All that stuff takes time to build up. I mean, like we're talking like a year, you know, so it's not a quick fix. But the more you do, the faster it goes. Keep that in mind. Do not burn yourself out on it. Do as much as you can without getting overwhelmed, because if you get overwhelmed, you'll find reasons to procrastinate, and procrastination looks like not doing it. Stick with it. It will work out for you. These are some free ways to really work. I will put these into a little printout if you want to grab it below. And that's it, guys. If you have any questions, do leave them in the comments below. I am very active on YouTube, and I'll be more than happy to answer anything if you have any questions about like technicalities or how things work. And if not, if you can write "Thanks, Wendy" in the comments below, it does help boost the video, which helps me grow my channel. So right now, I think we're at 835. Guys, I've gotten most of my subscribers in the last 4 months or so. Like I was hovering like around 300, 400 mark for ages. And before that, it would, I mean, like I'm talking like just to get 10 subscribers, 0 to 10 took months. I couldn't even get pity subscribes. Like it was bad. But then all of a sudden it just slowly, just like I'm talking about with the other thing, just slowly started building up. And then all of a sudden it just, this last couple of months, it's just started getting faster and faster and faster. I've earned more subscribers so far this month than I have the whole previous month. So that's how this game works. It is a momentum game. So if you fall off, don't worry about it, but go back, you know, and only go as hard as you feel like you can. You know, don't burn yourself out. All right, I'm off my soapbox. If you guys have questions, leave them in the comments below. You can follow me on Instagram at Wendy Literal it's Wendy_Literal, 2 T's. I'll see you next one. All right.